Good morning and welcome to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. If you're joining us for the first time and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. You're going to hear the foreign minister for South Africa, this great lady, speak about Africa. In the series that we are calling Africa Arise. We are calling a series called Africa Arise. Let me see if I will be putting something up about that shortly. You will see that on the screen somewhere. It talks about the Africa Arise. In that series, we're going to be showcasing a lot of African leaders and what they stand for and making sure that we put that across. One sec. So, as we're saying, the song is How Long Am I Going to Suffer? It's a pidgin English. It's asking how long are we going to continue to suffer? So we're saying, we need to wake up. And part of that waking up is Africa must unite. There are things we will obviously have to do in our various groupings to make sure that our unity is, firm and strong in those bases. But our overall strategy is how to make sure that the whole of Africa is, united. We will not be able to dictate our own destiny, our own future that way. So let's listen to the foreign minister for South Africa. Here we go. 1 second. So let us listen to the foreign secretary or the foreign minister for South Africa. Her name is Naledi Pandor, speaking about how the unity of Africa, and it's very, very important. Here we go.
As Africa, we face the perennial set of challenges that continue to bedevil our continent. These include a rise in incidents of terrorism, violent extremism, and some radicalization, all of which have now begun to affect all 5 regions of our continent. We've also witnessed and saw it just a few days ago, the resurgence of unconstitutional changes of government on our continent. For a long time, we believed the issue of unconstitutional changes of government were a thing of the past, as our good governance and democratization initiatives seemed to have gained traction and were beginning to make significant achievements. But of course, the rise in poverty, the rise in unemployment and underdevelopment, all of which were exacerbated by various financial crises and intensified by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, have had a hazardous impact on our progress. We also must recognize the effects of climate change as playing a very serious role in reversing our gains, and also recognize that global affairs affect us as much as our own local or continental affairs. And thus, the continued conflict between Russia and Ukraine is another challenge that impacts on our ability to achieve progress. Recognizing the challenges is important, but we shouldn't cause this recognition to lead us into a state of a lack of fear and lack of confidence. We remain a continent with huge potential. We're one of the most resource-rich continents. We have an abundance of natural resources, arable land, water, and a youthful population. With proper planning and effective use of these positive attributes, we believe that the aspirations of Agenda 2023 can be realized. Key question is, what instruments, what vehicles do we use to make this a reality? So given this really challenging context, I look forward to the insights from our panelists and further elaboration on some of the issues that I've highlighted. I'm looking forward to hearing your views on how you believe we have done in the first 10 years of implementation and how we can better navigate the next 10 years. I'm pleased that we are joined by a number of ambassadors this afternoon. We have in our midst ambassadors of Eritrea, Kenya, Egypt, and many other representatives from missions that are representative of countries on the continent. And I'm really thrilled that we also have representatives from the African Union who will help to further enrich our deliberations. Of course, I must remind you all that today is August 1. And so this is the start of the Women's Month in South Africa. August is a special month for us in our calendar year as we recall the tireless sacrifices that women endured in the fight against apartheid, and also recognize the role that women continue to strongly play in our country. It is during this month that we recognize the strides we've made in advancing women's empowerment, not just in South Africa, but continent-wide. It is therefore not a coincidence that we decided to kickstart these dialogues by having a panel made up largely of women. And of course, we must mention that during the recent African Continental Free Trade Area Business Forum, held in Cape Town in April this year, we had an important event where her AFCFTA was launched. Her AFCFTA is a movement for a new generation of capacity building in trade that mobilizes for the success of women in implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area. So there's much that we should be doing. There's much that forms part of all of us, our agenda. None of what needs to be done in Africa can be isolated as belonging to a particular person, institution, or entity. The obligations of development of Africa are obligations all of us must share together. So I'm really grateful that you are present here today with immense intellectual capacity to provide new and fresh ideas to our deliberations. I am sure that if you make this dialogue today go well, we will see you at dialogue 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I'm looking forward to a vibrant discussion, and I thank you for supporting this endeavor. I'm really glad to see that some universities are present here, because I felt that the academic core is not giving us sufficient research outcome focused on Agenda 2063. I know some of you are doing work in this area, and I hope as you contribute in the deliberations, you will share with us some of your findings, some of the research that you've been leading, which tells us where we are. I suspect much of our views of Africa are often based on conjecture, on gossip, and not on academic work. And so I am looking forward to hearing from the researchers today whose daily bread is formal evaluation and monitoring of what we're doing as Africa to address our development goals. So I thank you very much, and I now happily declare the inaugural Mapungubwe Dialogues open. Thank you.
So, apologies. So that was the secretary, the foreign secretary or the foreign minister for South Africa. Her name just escapes my mind now, and I mentioned it before. 1 second, please. I want to get that right. 1 second, please. Yes, she is, of course, Naledi Pandor. Naledi Pandor, the foreign secretary for South Africa, giving a great speech, emphasizing the unity among Africans. We need to unite In our series called Africa Arise, we will be doing a lot of discussions and really emphasizing how Africa can indeed arise. We must arise. It's a time now. It's that time. We must arise, just like the phoenix. Arise out of the ashes and rebuild a great Africa. Family believe that's the next course of action, and you can see the process going through. It's something to look at and to discuss. Let's hear your views. You're of course watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak with the power. There's a saying on here that you see on there. You see there? Just go and subscribe to Citizen AY, hit the notification button, and of course give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. We are grateful for your support. So before we go, we'll just show you again, for those of you who may not have already done so, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up. So one more time, go ahead, subscribe, hit the notification button, and then give us a thumbs up. We're truly appreciative of your support. Do continue to leave your comments. Like I said, Naledi Pandor is a great African patriot, believes family in Africa, and we want to support many voices like hers, Julius Malema, Ibrahim Traore, many of those new African leaders coming up. The point is our working together. Our unity is non-negotiable. Now let's proceed and go in that vein. So in our series, we're calling it Africa Arise. We'll be showing and showcasing many great African leaders like this. Here we go. Before we finish, please keep it locked on. Thank you very much, and bye for now.